Hi, everyone. It's Tiffany T, and I have the honor and privilege of being here with Dr. Kory. He's a PhD, and he has the university called Dreams Come True. And I'm just going to be asking him a few questions about life. And I'm, like I said, so grateful to be having his time here right now today. So, Dr. Kory, can you introduce yourself and tell us about what you do, who you are, where you're going, all that good stuff?
Yes, Tiffany, it's a pleasure to be with you. Well, my full name is Kourosh Peymani, and Dr. Kory is just a nickname with my profession that came along with it. I have a, background research degree in psychology and business, and also I have a master's in marital family therapy and master's in science of law. So pretty much I did my academics and progressed into continuing my research into life ventures. And that is, one of my biggest things is telepathic consciousness or communications. That's what I'm researching about. And my work basically encompasses down to earth life and career coaching and business consulting, and I have a lifeguard business consulting offices that it's my registered type of consulting firm that I have.
Awesome.
With my wife.
That's right. Your wife sounds like an amazing woman.
She couldn't make it, but maybe another time.
Yes, absolutely. That would be a privilege. And are you still doing net dream marketing?
Yeah, net dream marketing is a whole emotional intelligence of any network marketing. And I got into this sort of thing because my wife introduced me to another network marketing, because a long time ago I was in my 20s, I was into Amway, and I was telling her, network marketing, I don't think is the one for me. But then as I researched and I realized, some of those supplements, because I used to be a bodybuilder and a trainer and work at a gym, and I had a massage therapy training, and I was working with chiropractors and whatnot. So I realized that, and I was taking like more than 50 vitamins a day at the time. So, along those lines, I was very familiar with the supplements and so on and so forth, and the deep-seated genes therapy is what the network marketing with the company New Skin came along with my wife being in it. Then I got exposed and I realized that, it's actually going to be a good supplements to go deep into the genes in order to get the maximum amount of frequency from each and every genes or gene in our body.
Awesome. And you have, sorry, go ahead.
So that's how net dream marketing came about, to collaborate, actually.
That's really cool. And you're a believer of that we can change our genes, right?
Change our...
Isn't that what I thought that you said something about that when you were on my show a few weeks ago?
Change our what, you said?
Change our genes.
Yeah, we can, the thing is that it's a simultaneous or spontaneous reaction based on aligning of our consciousness. In other words, when we are in focus or, like in meditations, based on the fact that, when we go into our chakra level, frequency level consciousness, what happens is that, like a flower, the consciousness or the chakras start to open up. And, there is several chakras, even before and beyond our bodies. Mm-hmm. But when we get in line with it, our whole genetic makeup with that gravity starts to, manifest itself and gets into levels of realizations or consciousness, or at a molecular levels that cannot even be detected by any scientific measurement means.
That's deep.
Very, 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 is deeper than being deep. It's like black hole.
Right.
That the physicists talk about. It does not project any light, and it does not necessarily have any light, but it is light. It is called black, or it's called dark matter.
Like,
so dark matter is something that it's something that is just is that like silence of that consciousness that exists in every one of us, that is naturally we are part of. We are it.
I agree. And I'm so excited to ask you, because I know when you came onto my show a few weeks ago on, I think you were on the Gratitude Show, and then we opened up another window. But you were absolutely high on my list when I started doing these interviews, because I just thought you were the neatest person, and you challenged my thinking, and I was like, whoa, like you just blew me away. And I love that. I love when I'm challenged and introduced to new concepts. And so yeah, thank you for helping me understand that night. But my first question for you, Dr. Kory, is what is your understanding and perception or perspective of happiness?
Happiness is not a concept, it's a frequency. We do not, we cannot, and we do not like touch it, feel it. We can just acknowledge that it exists. And we got to get in tune with it and align with it and let it manifest itself. In other words, people may say, I feel happy, but that happiness doesn't show up in my bank account physically. So there is so many different ways that law of attraction in so many different explanations or interpretations. And now Esther Hicks is doing a great job, I think. And she says in so many ways, because it's all channeling. She, you ask her, like, what did you say? It's like, I mean, why do you ask me? I'm just working to make this manifest, That, for example, one of the things I've been listening to this kind of stuff is that, the energy is not concentrated in one area. It exists all over the universe. So if someone, for example, says, yeah, but it's not in my bank account, some may say, like Esther Hicks said in one of the things, I mean, I'm not promoting her stuff, but I love the way she puts the frequency into words. And she says, for example, it's out of the bank. If you focus it, it goes in the bank. So that resonates with me. So we are all running around. We're saying, for example, the economy is bad, or the global chaos, or terrorism, or identification of what psychologists may call it wrong identity. We are actually looking at ourselves in the mirror and identifying ourselves as a terrorist, as a wrong or wrongful person, or maybe a happy person, But the good comes with the bad. In other words, we cannot have the wave of the ocean only going up. It has to come down and it goes up, and that's how it rolls. So, is women more powerful or men? They go together. They're inside each other. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So no man cannot be as strong as who gave birth to that man, for example. Or in an emotional sense, behind every successful man is we should say, a businesswoman.
I love that saying. It's so true. It's the yin and the yang.
Exactly. And we cannot separate it, or we cannot, for example, if we wiped out the black or white in this planet Earth, the other side of it, cannot survive. We human beings gonna perish. So we have to actually feed each other. We have to share with each other. We have to learn from each other. That's kind of like is a mind, if you will, mind eugenics right there.
Do you want to elaborate on that? Because I'm not sure if people will understand what that means.
For example, during Germany, World War II, they were doing this, a eugenics type of survival of the fittest program in Nazism. But the whole point of the matter is that eugenics of the mind is more important than the eugenics of the body, because body is only as strong as the mind. So while we are busy to give our bodies all kinds of meditations or medications, we are actually trying to feed the body, but keeping the mind hungry. So no matter if you go vegan or, get into all kinds of high fiber diets, that's not going to keep your cleanse on a maximum, optimum level. What happens is that, when the mind or third eye chakra or the pineal gland is in alignment with all the other chakras, it releases a substance called DMT, natural DMT. And a natural DMT is pure acid, if you will. Does not have a substance that, for example, DMT cannot, in other words, be put under a microscope and be identified, because it's so clear, like a crystal clear kind of a thing. Like ayahuasca drinkers, like I tried one time ayahuasca. I didn't try any type of LSD or something like that because it's illegal. So I went to South America with my wife, and for example, they had this retreats, and we tried ayahuasca, for example, which has natural, organic DMT in it. But the DMT that exists in your pineal gland that gets excreted when you're in that high optimum happiness, in other words, that you mentioned, we going to actually be so high we could get naturally so high that is kind of an orgasmic consciousness.
Wow. Is it kind of related to ecstasy?
It's beyond ecstasy. Like something that, if you had multiple level orgasmic bodily function, this goes way over, way over the cliff. Like they say, people who are on acid, they may, jump off the balcony and think they can fly. I'm talking about you could get so hot with this excretion of pure DMT in your body that you would even wonder that how come this acid does not spill out, come out of my skin because it's acid, But the thing is that in those chakra, at the center of the chakra, there is some sort of a, like people who are have problem with bulimia,
Throwing up.
They mess up their teeth because there is a high maximum, and there are like acids in our body that cannot be handled by our teeth, and it eats away your whole
Enamel.
Yeah. So what I like to say is that I have to be so aligned with this zone or this frequency or this aligning of this consciousness that sometimes, people get a headache just listening to me. But I say that, you know what, when the orgasm comes, you got to let it go. You cannot hold on to it. That's how it may give you a headache. You know, that's why women, usually I hear them say among each other that if you have too much of a migraine, you may want to consider some sort of, sexual function.
Release.
Yeah. So this goes beyond, my father was a medical doctor, so I grew up among that kind of a environment around that field. And then I wanted to go to PhD to explore even further. And then I had to surrender even academic world because they do not acknowledge telepathic consciousness. So if I would have I realized if I would have gone completely to become recognized as a psychologist, licensed psychologist, then, if these kind of conversations would have came up, number one, I would lose my credibility. Number two, the licensing board would come and say, may come and say, you know what, Dr. Kory, this is beyond the parameters of our licensing board. You cannot do this. You cannot publish this. We don't recognize this. So I said, I got to become a kind of like a yogi with a PhD, sort of.
That's so cool. Well, and I mean, it's so crazy because I studied psychology too in college, and it seems like it's getting to the point where, you have to basically say you're a metaphysical doctor instead of, you know what I mean? Like, because it's
I'm more of like I'm more like a rapper with a PhD.
I've never heard that before. That's very
because
unique.
It doesn't exist. Because, for example, I was like, I got into searching, like one of the most successful rappers that you may know of is Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
He's a billionaire. No rapper can become a billionaire. But the guy raps the truth. So at that level, street level, he's like the, honest soul,
Mm-hmm.
So now someone would look at me and listen to me and they say, Dr. Kory, like the other night on Blab, someone said, a couple of people said, Dr. Kory, you're a poet. I said, well, yeah, you could put it that way.
Poet of life.
Exactly, but it's highly educational platform. Like I could be sitting with a lawyer, doctor, businessman, president, queen, king, and they're going to say, you know what, Kory is giving us a headache, but he's telling you exactly what we need to go with this.
Yeah, what you do is very versatile. I mean, everybody benefits from it.
That's why I became an entertainer. And Dreams Come True Coaching hashtag is a hashtag. Anybody can adopt it and make a fool out of themselves if they like to. I know that they cannot copy. So it's a hashtag for me to get more recognition, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not copyrighted. It cannot be, this thing that I'm saying cannot be kept a secret. It cannot be a secret. It cannot be patented. It cannot be copyrighted. It cannot be manufactured. But we're going to go into an intelligence consciousness platform with this, Tiffany. Because thanks to you, it takes courage for someone like you to come forth and says, you know what, this makes sense to me, and I'm going to put it out there because I like to dance with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dance floor. Dreams Come True Coaching is an entertaining or entertainment dance.
I'm sorry, you paused a little bit there. What was that last? You said it's a dance floor?
It's like a entertainment portal is like a virtual, if you will, virtual sort of a fourth dimensional consciousness, dance floor.
I love your perspective.
So if you, for example, by the way, I have a hashtag which is called Dreams Come True Wi-Fi, for example. Or for example, there is an iTunes in this. The iTunes in this frequency is that if you could relate to this, you're going to fall in love with yourself, probably. But whoever else you see is like you're looking into the mirror. Have you ever fell in love with yourself in the mirror?
Every day. I really think that it all stems from loving yourself first before you can do anything successful in life. That's what my part in Jack Canfield's book that's coming out in the end of summer is called The Road to Success. And, you know, they ask you, what is your idea of success? And then also, you know, how did you get there? Or I think there's about 12 entrepreneurs who contributed to it. And my chapter was about success starts with yourself and your inner self first, because you can have short-term success, but it's unless you're basically aware with yourself first, which makes you awareness of the world kind of aspect, then you can do anything. I mean, it all starts there, and it'll be a long-term success.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to just make a little capital C correction type of thing for both of us to be in alignment with each other here. Mm-hmm. And that is that, you know, American or Western attitude is that we got to do something about it. We got to work hard. We got to do it. But, you know, like it's a catch-22. Like, for example, if you are the frequency, for example, how can you do frequency? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just being, right? There's something that just happens naturally and no effort.
Exactly. But in order for this to manifest and happen naturally, then we got to be in alignment with each other. In other words, you're one chakra, I'm another chakra. You see, people are chakras. And if humanity gets aligned with each other, we're not going to be able to go to war with each other. Mm-hmm. The reason that humanity is at war with each other, is terrorizing each other, is, you know, destroying, mm-hmm. confusing. There is more confusion, by the way, going on than war.
Right. I agree.
So the whole point of the matter is that, you know what, Tiffany, we need to get in alignment with each other. And it's not like, you know, putting necessarily gates. It's not like living in a gated community. Is to be able to live in the gated minds. You see, you're not going to have Tom, Dick, and Harry in this kind of a conversation, because this is just probably some sort of a hogwash. Let's get a job, work harder to make it overtime, you know.
Right.
So I'm here to stand on this platform of Dreams Come True coaching eval shop. I have many hashtags about this, and I'm quoting my hashtags. And eval shop is an evaluation of frequency. It's not about, oh, we gotta be more motivated. It's not going, you know, like read another book, go to another workshop, go to another motivational retreat in order to come back and say, you know what, I paid the $5,000 and I want to now, I better feel good because I paid the $5,000 and I went to this whole weekend of, you know, like meditation till 4 a.m., you know. So I better act like a changed person. Well, so I'm saying that, you know what, I created, by the way, I created this workshop that is coming along, and I'm inviting people to come and join me with this physically, and I'm going to take it on globally or locally, nationally, internationally. It's about people, like at least minimum anywhere between 10 to 30 people sit around in a big circle, which I call it a natural teleportation vortex type of environment.
Wow.
That I stand in the ground zero at the middle, and I'm going to open the conversation, open the communication with the higher universal consciousness that is basically getting myself aligned with.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, like I become like a kryptonite, if you will. As like, look at Dr. Kory, look at his face. No, I'm kidding.
Glowing.
His pineal gland is getting, you know, like activated. So the DMTs are rushing.
Right.
So so people like start screaming. Probably, I don't know what's gonna happen because it's a very high powered kind of a, as I mentioned, some sort of a, like you can kind of like, some people may feel orgasm almost in their back of their tongue.
That sounds so exciting. When is this?
Well, I've checked out some hotels and all of that, and people can simply contact us and, you know, just PayPal. I mean, I'm starting with no more than like $199 for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like Friday 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Saturday 9:30 to 12:30, and then we go for a couple hours lunch. Everybody likes to socialize from 2:30 to 5:30, and then after that, people, it's Saturday night, they want to go out and they want to kind of like party out, you know. So so after that, you know, Sunday comes along and 9:30 to 12:30, and people, well, it's summertime, they may go to the beach or something. I don't know. But we are in California. We're close to Burbank, downtown, by Burbank Airport, Bob Hope Airport. So Holiday Inn over there is very practical for just, you know, anyone to drop by. And they, I heard that they even have a pickup from the airport type of shuttle.
So you definitely have to keep me posted on these dates.
Well, you know what? If you like to, I don't know how your schedule is. You could be one of the co-hosts.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, you know, this is a global movement, not because we want to move something.
Right. Just each other.
It's like, who doesn't want to, you know, like get enlightened on steroids?
I have no clue who doesn't want to do that. That sounds really, really awesome and fun to me.
Well, you look like you're excited.
Oh, I am. I'm always excited, but this is extra exciting.
Well, you know what? I would guarantee that anyone at the end of the show, I mean, I'm not going to be monkeying out for people like, you know, oh, you know, like I like the way he, it's not, none of that. It's the whole group is as exciting as you contribute to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you want it to be enlightening, you want it to be sexy, you want it to be entertaining. Let's see what you do.
Love it.
So I get out of the way. I'm just facilitating. It's like, you know, wake up, Dr. Kory.
Your job's just to bring the people together.
Yeah. And if you are there, I know everybody will come.
Oh, thank you. Well, my next question for you is, we all have an understanding of success in life, and what's your personal take on that? What's your understanding?
Say the question again. I like the way you said it. I mean, your voice.
What's your personal understanding of success? Like, what does that mean to you?
Uh, the kind of a vision I get when you say that, it's like I'm almost invisible. I'm so like in tune with myself and others that, people hardly notice me, but they know I'm there.
I think it has to do with your vibration level,
If
how your
someone,
vibrating frequency is.
I mean, if someone can, like I'm saying it to make a point, not to be funny or anything. If someone starts to have like a major mind, body, spirit orgasm in the group without even touching themselves or anyone else in the group, and they're just like, channeling out something.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't disturb them. So that the point I'm trying to make is that success is a word, is a concept. And if you going after the ghost that you have created or acknowledged that is the way to the real deal, I mean, many people like they think first they got to get rich and then they got to hit the cocaine because they can afford it, But the wise people know that they could be successful and they can just be more of who they are. They say like rich people, you can get to know, who is real deal when they become, like, for example, rich, they just become more of who they were. So don't get like pissed off at people who are kind of like, like, why did they become more of a jerk when they became rich? I mean, they had it in them. They just like went on steroids, So, my take on success is that if you're you think you're a nobody, and if you get into that kind of a zone of success, you may become even more unknown. but your vibration, as you mentioned, is so high that some people say, you know what, Dr. Kory, with talking to you, I don't need acid.
Right. I kind of felt like that a few weeks ago when when you were just bringing up so much stuff that I had been a little bit aware of, but you just like went deep, and oh my gosh, I was addicted.
Well, you're a very clear soul. I mean, I do impression, kind of a little coaching, and what I get from you is that you have like, you're an ocean of possibilities. And you're just floating, and everything is cooling and breezing, and like Tiffany is just like a breeze of fresh air, like, and you're just like, there is no fan around here, but I don't know how your hair goes all over the place. I mean, like, I mean, it's just that, I'm just trying to make a visual with this, that, you know what, it's the connection that is important. Like, I can deal with this. I can hang with this. I can, chill with this because it's just so cool. And it's real. And it's almost like, you can touch something that you cannot touch. It's the frequency there. It's the alignment there. The vibration.
Well, that's a really interesting perspective, and thank you. What's the most profound thing that you've learned this far in life? Like, what would you say out of everything? I mean, I'm sure you learned so much, but what's the most one profound thing that sticks out the most to you?
That, you know what, I was like exploring and searching all this kind of like a psychic phenomenon and all that kind of stuff because I love mystery. And I was like, I'm going to find the truth in life and I'm going to like, get a Nobel Prize, like, right?
Why not?
But then I realized, you know what? The most profound thing is to be so ordinary that you're like, it would almost be like you're a superhuman. People are afraid to be ordinary, but there is a lot of power. There is a lot of power in, like I have somebody gave me a frame that is about leadership, and it says the most powerful oceans are the ones that are at the lowest of the lowest grounds. I mean, the wisdom is in the depth of consciousness. It's not like, oh, guys, look at me, I'm here. Look at me, put the lights on me, look at me, I'm in Hollywood. Like, it's none of that. Like Jay-Z, for example, as we mentioned, just to make a very simple example, everybody listen to whatever he gives us out. He's very nonchalant about it, and every damn record goes platinum because he's talking the truth and he's jumping around, and he looks like he reminds me of like one of these guys in the class that nobody paid attention to. But then when he came out after high school, and maybe, I don't know if he took, even he graduated or not, but the ordinariness of it all is that in that depth of consciousness, we become so extraordinary that is almost superhuman. So while people are having the conscious, hardworking, tough attitude about, what it takes to become successful and how much money in the bank, people can be so ordinary that they could get discovered and they just chill and people just hand them money.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
I mean, look at like someone like Einstein.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's not amazing that they made a nuclear bomb from his formula E equals mc squared. For me, he was in relativity with the whole universe in mind.
Yeah.
That formula has a very high frequency. In other words, the synergy of it all was that in his mind and in his heart and in his spirit, he was the nuclear atomic consciousness.
He was it himself, right? Is that what you're saying?
He just manifested something that was just by his consciousness. He was a daydreamer. And, like they asked some of these yogis why you're doing all these kind of meditations, and you go in the mountains and you starve yourself and sit in the cold somewhere, and what are you trying to do? And when they asked Buddha that, Buddha said, all I want, in so many words, of course, and some people like attack me on it, no, that's not what Buddha said, Nobody knows what Buddha said, but when you get in tune with Buddha, you know what Buddha says. Okay, so this is the thing, Tiffany. Buddha, in so many words, said that I want to feel what God feels like, and that's the power of love, right there.
I completely agree. And that's so beautiful. Yes, that's the only word I can describe.
Well, you know, when it goes that deep down and you kind of like bring it up and say, it's so beautiful, you just like became more beautiful. Your whole face opened up. You became like a, you know, a model in a Vogue magazine, you know, like better than that because you got soul, you know.
Well, thank you. And, you know, I was doing my research on you, and I understand that you're a life path 9, right? Your wife is a numerologist or into numerology. Is that true?
She does it for fun. I say, you know, you gotta like, you know, make it a little bit more. You gotta monetize it, okay? Like, you know, I say it like a rapper, monetize it. And she tells me like, why? And I say, you know why? Because people gotta feel the value that they bring into this. You know, like, no matter how much we deny, we all wanna feel like it's possible to be naturally spiritual, like everybody wants to be spiritual, right? But then they say, okay, but you got to go to work.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that, you know what? I created this circle to say to people, you can, or it's possible, because I show by example. Not that I go and I say, look at me, but I mean, just being around that environment, that's enough. That, you know, it's possible to be spiritual and live a rich, prosperous, harmony, orchestrated life.
I completely agree with you. It's really your perspective is, just say, so in alignment with. I mean, I literally am like, I learned so much. And I appreciate that, and the way that you view things is in alignment with how I view things. But there's so much I don't know, and I just like suck up what you say like a sponge. And I want to know more. I mean, I could spend hours and hours on the phone with you or in love with you. Like we did the other night, or a few weeks ago. I think it was like almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours, and we had to drive back to San Diego that night. And the whole way home, I was like talking about you to my boyfriend, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, honey, this guy, you don't understand. Like, he's profound. Like, he, you know, knows my thinking, my beliefs and stuff. But he was just so interested. And like, wow, I couldn't even put it into words. It was just amazingly instant. I love listening.
You know, you went dark. Are you on another line or something? Because I cannot. You went black, dark on the screen.
Oh no, am I still dark?
Yeah, maybe you need to refresh. Probably, I don't know.
Let's see. Who else is out? Okay.
I mean, I see myself, but I don't.
Let me refresh really quick. I'm gonna press pause. Okay. All right. And you can hear me okay?
Yeah, you're going a little bit like, you know, like the voice kind of breaks a little bit.
Okay. Is that better?
It's better. I don't know about our audience because I can listen to more than what I can hear, but
Okay.
okay.
Why don't we end with, okay, first of all, most important thing, how can people get a hold of you or in touch with you and learn more about you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, you went dark, but do you want me to continue?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? Actually, I have another lady whose her name is I think Suzanne. It was a while back that I talked to. She also was one of the authors of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And there is going to be a podcast with her, I think, soon. If I'm not mistaken, maybe by July or maybe, yeah, sometime in July. I have to check my calendar. So this is something that people, of course, you know, contact me. I got my phone number. I got my text. I got my Twitter, LinkedIn. I don't play around so much with Facebook because, I mean, I have it, but um, I'm open to this conversation. The workshop that I mentioned, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay, but you're dark. But I feel your frequency. So, you know, like just by you talking to me and we talking to each other and many people like relating with this, I can say that, physically, of course, it's like being closer to the whole fire of this frequency. The farther, I mean, there is no time and space or distance in this, but people get to get more in tuned or intuitive or get down with the real thing if they I mean, I have my free evaluation coaching that people by calling can get their free evaluation coaching. Just I give like maybe a half an hour or so, and then of course there is coaching, there is all kinds of like sponsorship can happen, all kinds of cruises, resorts, co-speaking, co-authoring, eventing. I mean, it's a global phenomenon and I have no control over it. And I'm just on a GPS with it, I'm just going with it. Whatever wants to happen, how bigger, how smaller, I'm not measuring this because this is beyond science of measurements, the statistics of, is it a platinum album gonna be or whatnot? This is in everybody's hearts, which exists. And I'm just a facilitator of this. And Dreams Come True coaching entertainment platform. I even have I have a Dreams Come True University hashtag. If you check my Twitter account, I mean, it's in frequency, Some people say, oh, like the Trump University, people gonna sue you. I say, it's a hashtag, brother.
Right.
Like, people are so interesting.
Aren't they?
Well, I'm a student of this world. I'm a researcher of the frequency. I'm a venturer. I'm an adventurer. I'm a maverick in this. I mean, like, it's like being cremated in it 100% in love, in this frequency, and it does what it does, Tiffany.
Are you able to still see me? You look deep in thought.
I'm listening. What? I can't hear you. You may want to refresh again, I think. You're dark on your screen and I cannot hear you. I can see myself. Let me see. Do you want to refresh your screen? Okay. So I'll come back now. That many people ask me, how is it that people want to do this or continue with this or go with this, whether it's personal, business, I mean, in other words, this encompasses our personal, professional, political life. And I just say, you know what, whether it's a personal matter or as a professional matter or is a political matter, this is my life and my lifestyle, and this is, I guess, what makes me. And people want to continue this conversation. And through my website, these hand-picked products, for example, that I came up with after all this research, I realized that by me taking them, I mean, my wife, we have tried them out and all of that kind of stuff. And we see that, in order to go to a higher level of gene frequency vibration levels, we need to really supplement it deep down, because at the higher vibrations, we need higher or better, if you will, immunity, because in research, for example, it has been provided in so many studies that people who work around high vibrations, labor jobs, for example, people have developed some types of cancers. And in order for us to equip ourselves to get into this higher frequency and enjoy the process, we need to, I mean, I'm just saying, whether you find a better product for yourself that you may like, or, just simply go and click and nourish yourself and nourish the children around the world, be my guest to supplement your genes deep down to be able to enjoy the ride. And that's another thing I do. The Nourish the Children opportunity is for people like we were mentioning, that, before you save a child's life, you have to put the oxygen, like they say, on your own face. And then, because you're surviving, then you can put the oxygen on child's face so they can survive. Because if you don't survive, you're not going to be able to even be there to make sure the child is alive.
Right.
And then, of course, is a whole business that goes beyond that in my career now with this whole net dream and network marketing, that people can just, while they become my executive or work with us, I mean, they give all kinds of freebies, like going to different trips around the world, and there's lots of fun, and we're just going to keep on communicating with each other, and it's a whole kind of like a global communion, if you will, that gets aligned, and it's nothing but enjoying each other and traveling with each other and conversating these things and just expanding this synergy to a whole humanity, higher level consciousness that, as I mentioned, is like being human on steroids.
Love it. I'm all about, my purpose is just love and compassion in the world, and just helping other people live their life on purpose. Because my awakening was a huge wake-up call for me, at least, and deep. And I got inspired to just vibrate at my level and just be an ultimate love and compassion for humans in the world and everything that's in it. I think you're like that too.
Yeah, and I would love to, I mean, I know we are doing this for the public and so on and so forth, but I would love to be in contact and in conversation with you because, as I mentioned, you're working with Jack Canfield, as you mentioned. I can tell you a bit about this other lady who was part writer for the Chicken Soup for the Soul as well. Mm-hmm. You may know her. Suzanne, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Does that ring a bell?
No.
Oh, okay. I will, I will provide you the info to see, maybe we could even collaborate.
I would love that. I would love learning about anything that you do because, like I said, I'm like addicted in a good way. I love soaking up any information that you have, and your perspective is really refreshing.
And this whole dreams come true workshop, it's like a, how can I put this? It's like a Disneyland of it would be like Abraham Hicks Disneyland. That my Abraham would be talking to your Abraham.
Consciousness communication. Love it.
It's like our Abraham's gonna start, communicating with each other simultaneously, spontaneously.
Our antennas. Okay, so is the best website for me to get out there to publicly Kourosh Peymani, I'm saying right?
Kourosh Peymani. Kourosh is he was my name is very ancient. I'm Jewish from Iran, and I came here when I was 14 in 1979, and I went to high school, Fairfax High, and then to CSUN University. I graduated from there and going forward to Southern California University. But before that, I went to Phillips Graduate Institute, and then from there to, a bunch of basically from physical to private to online and so forth. Now is like nice time to basically let people be their own PhD, if you will. Like someone was asking me, what kind of certificate do I get when I come to your university? I said, you're going to be the certificate.
Right. You like the certificate. I agree with you that these days, I went to college for 9 years on and off, but I learned so much more in my life experience than a degree that hangs on the wall, or it's just not relevant to. The teaching and basic understanding of like psychology and all that stuff is amazing, but my life experience way more outdoes my qualifications of being able to do what I'm doing compared to a degree. So I absolutely agree with you.
Did you get your license or anything?
No.
So you became now you do writing and entertaining, like doing shows and things like that?
I do.
Basically.
I have 3 shows that I do on Blab. That's Sunday nights is the event where you can go to get stuff off your chest, but I just have one rule, and that rule is that you have to leave with a positive solution to keep going, moving forward. And, you both say studying your shit, basically. Let's help you see the blessing in everything. And then Thursdays is I just started this new one with Teresa Lynn, who is also a soul strategist coach. She does the Imprint coaching program, and it's called Soul Search. And that's the title of my 3rd book coming out. And then we do numerology and strategy cards, and it's just kind of like our creative outlet for the week. in the spiritual elect. And then obviously you were on Wednesday's gratitude show, so that's where I met you. And that's just about being grateful for everything, because it's so important to practice gratitude to be in that state of thankfulness and awe of just every little thing, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you're online and you want, I mean, you can like text me, send me a text or something, and if I'm available, like I don't mind to jump on and join the show if you have an open forum.
Yes, it's always open.
Mm-hmm. And I do invite you for free evaluation, or sometimes I call it frequency evaluation coaching. That you can call me on my private professional number that I have available, and you can more intimately with yourself see where is your frequency aiming at.
Well, that sounds great, and I'm going to take you up on that.
And this is also for your for the your fans, your friends, families. I mean, professionally, personally, politically. I mean, there's so many things going on now around the world. We got the election. We got the people are doing a lot of soul searching. They're doing a lot of transitioning because professions are not like they used to be. And people still want to be prosperous and wealthy and be living in harmony. And this is the most crucial time, I think, in human consciousness, because a regurgitation of information age has expired, and we're going towards an intelligence platform that is nothing but what we make of it with our habitual algorithms that is being recorded, and it's going to be thrown at us back, and we're going to be complaining about why we're getting, like we always do, like people like hear all the time. People complaining about why they're getting what they're getting. And on our devices, on our computers, on our consciousness, in our thinking, it shows itself up, whether it's the tape recorder in the head, like it's an old school tape recorder. It's still a tape recorder. And tape recorders takes a lot of time to rewind and go back at it again. It's like we are listening to the old voices. We are complaining about how come we are not connected so well on the computers and devices, and we're thinking about why we're getting these damn emails that we don't want. Well, we did something in the past that this keeps showing up on my or each other's devices. One way or another, we clicked on something that it just was superficial, and we're getting superficial every day, more and more, 100 times, 1,000 times over.
We got to re-record. I like to think of this day and age as the conscious awareness age or era. Yeah, I was just saying that because I really believe what you're saying about, or agree with what you're saying about, the information age is gone and done. I mean, it's always going to be there, obviously, in history, but now it's moving into the transition. More people are waking up. More people are spreading their light and coming into themselves, or I'm not really sure how to explain it. It's kind of deep, but
well, yeah, I do hear you, because I do understand it deeply, because people are saying, yes, I am much more enlightened than I was before, because I'm going to my yoga classes, I'm doing my meditations, I am, cleansing my body one way or another through my nutritional activity and diet and whatnot. But I still have to go do or get or find a job or do the business that is not happening. So, I mean, general public is basically in a self-perpetuating circle of, like, a regurgitating vortex that many times we have created for ourselves. And all I'm saying is that if we want to get out of that, we got to be more, or actually go deeper into ourselves. Deeper, or Kundalini chakra is at the basis of our consciousness. And if we cannot stand the heat, we're gonna say, oh, it's spiritually is great, but then I have to be real and go do the job.
Going within. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for giving me your time, Dr. Kory. This has by far been my longest interview, and like I said, I could talk to you for hours. I love it.
Yes, and I still, the platform of Dreams Come True Coaching is available, or evaluation coaching, that people simply can just, pick up the old-fashioned phone, or send an email or text or whatever it takes to, move forward with this. This is not something extraordinary that we're doing. Actually, it's very ordinarily ordained, that it's just going to get better and better by your own input, by your own participation in it. And I'm just floating in this.
Love that description. Okay, well, everybody,
All right.
Dr. Kory, you can be, you're on Twitter at Dr. Kory, DrKory189, correct? Right? Are you having trouble hearing me again?
You're breaking up a little bit, but do you want to just, should I just click off or what?
If you want to. So I was saying people can follow you on Twitter or see what you're about at Dr. Kory189, right?
Yes, and of course, kuroshpeimani.com is my website as well. And I look forward to speaking with you and talking with you and communicating further with you. And hopefully we can collaborate further to expand this synergy all over the world.
I'm so looking forward to it too, and thank you for your time. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. This is the interview series of inspiring people doing amazing things in life. And Dr. Kory, you're absolutely all about that. I love it. So I'll be in contact with you soon.
Okay.